Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start a new chapter of history. Chapter 3, The Delhi Sultans. Let's start the chapter. First, we'll start with the introduction of Delhi Sultanate. The Delhi Sultanate is a noble example for the glory of medieval India. Its culture, art, and architecture that exists even today is praiseworthy. The Sultans of Delhi ruled for quite a long period of 320 years, during which there were achievements in different fields. The rulers during this period called themselves sultans, hence, their rule is known as that of Delhi Sultanate. Five successive dynasties ruled over northern India during the reign of Delhi Sultans. They were the slave dynasty, the Khiljis, the Tughlaqs, the Sayyids, and the Lodhis. Let's have a look at the timeline of the Delhi Sultanate. With the accession of Qutbuddin Aibak to the throne of Delhi begins the history of the Delhi Sultanate in India. He was originally a slave and a native of Turkestan. The dynasty established by Aibak was therefore known as the Slave Dynasty, and he ruled from 1200 CE to 1300 CE. After that, Khiljis ruled India, then Tughlaqs rule came, then Sayyids ruled India, and then at last Lodhis ruled over India. And after that, the Mughal Empire came into India. Now let's have a look at this table. Delhi first became the capital of a kingdom under the Tomara Rajputs, who were defeated in the middle of the 12th century by the Chauhans of Ajmer. It was under the Tomaras and Chauhans that Delhi became an important commercial center. Many rich Jain merchants lived in the city and constructed several temples. Coins minted here and called Delhiwal had a wide circulation. The transformation of Delhi into a capital that controlled vast areas of the subcontinent started with the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate in the beginning of the 13th century. You can see the five dynasties that together made the Delhi Sultanate. Here we can see after Rajput dynasties, early Turkish rulers came, then Khilji dynasty came, then Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, and the last was Lodi dynasty. The period between 1206 AD and 1526 AD in the Indian history is known as the Delhi Sultanate. During this period of over 300 years, five dynasties ruled in Delhi. These were the Slave dynasty, started from 1206 to 1290, then the Khilji dynasty 1290 to 1320, the Tughlaq dynasty 1320 to 1414, the Sayyid dynasty 1414 to 1450, and the last was the Lodi dynasty 1451 to 1526. Our next topic is finding out about the Delhi Sultans. Although inscriptions, coins, and architecture provide a lot of information, especially valuable are histories, Tawariq, written in Persian language of administration under the Delhi Sultans. The authors of Tawariq were learned men, secretaries, administrators, poets, and courtiers who both recounted events and advised rulers on governance, emphasizing the importance of just rule. Here you can see four stages in the preparation of a manuscript. In the first picture, the man is preparing the paper. In the second picture, he is writing the text. In third, he is melting gold to highlight important words and passages. And in the last picture, he is preparing the binding. Students, here this is the picture of Razia Sultan. In 1236, Sultan Iltutmish's daughter Razia became Sultan. According to Minaji Siraj, She was more able and qualified than all her brothers. She was first and last woman who sat on the throne of Delhi. She had to face many challenges, the main one being that she was a woman in the man's world. She was removed from the throne in 1240. Our next topic is from garrison town to empire. But before discussing or proceeding further, let's discuss the meaning of garrison town and hinterland. Meaning of garrison town is a fortified settlement with soldiers, or we can say that garrison town is a common expression for any town that has a military base nearby. Now, have a look at the meaning of hinterland, the land adjacent to a city or port that supply it with goods and services. In the early 13th century, the control of the Delhi Sultans rarely went beyond heavily fortified towns occupied by garrisons. The sultans seldom controlled the hinterland of the cities and were therefore dependent upon trade, tribute, or plunder for supplies. Controlling garrison towns in distant land, Bengal, and Sindh from Delhi was extremely difficult. Rebellion, war, even bad weather could snap fragile communication routes. The state was also challenged by Mughal invasions from Afghanistan and by governors who rebelled at any sign of the Sultan's weakness. The Sultanate barely survived these challenges. Its expansion occurred during the reigns of Ghiyasuddin Balban, Alauddin Khilji, and Muhammad Tughlaq. The first set of campaigns along the internal frontier of the Sultanate aimed at consolidating the hinterlands of the garrison towns. The second expansion occurred along the external frontiers of the Sultanate. Here in this map, you can see Alauddin Khilji's campaign into South India. Now let's have a look at some of the mosques built during Delhi Sultanate. A mosque is called a masjid in Arabic, literally a place where a Muslim prostrates in reverence to Allah. Mosque built in the early Sultanate incorporated Islamic design into India and developed new features of adapting Indian features into its design. The minar on the left is the tallest structure in medieval India. Here you can see the full picture of Qutub Minar, and on the right is the picture of Qutubuddin Aibak. Qutub Minar was built by three sultans. Qutubuddin Aibak started it, then Iltutmish made other two floors, and Firoz Shah Tughlaq gave final touch to this minar. The Delhi Sultans built several mosques in cities all over the subcontinent. These demonstrated their claims to be protectors of Islam and Muslims. Dear students, this was the end of our first module. I'll be back with part 2 in our next class. Hope you all are fine and safe at home. All the best.